Shaw Consulting recently turned 10 years old. In this podcast, we look back at some of the technological changes of the last decade and start to think about what IT challenges the social housing sector faces in the next 10 years. Hi Chris, 10 years is a long time in IT. What was the state of technology when you started the business?
10 years ago, many of us would have been excited by the launch of the Apple iPad. Netflix had just launched their video streaming service, and we started posting pictures on Instagram and Pinterest. We still, however, had a year or so to wait until the launch of Office 365. In social housing, most of the businesses operated in silos, in that they had separate housing systems, repair systems, asset systems, and all with limited mobile working capabilities. And between these systems, the integration wasn't that great at all. Most of your business systems will have run on servers that were hosted in either your own data center or someone else's. The true infrastructure as a service wasn't trusted at that stage, even though Amazon's AWS service had been offered to customers from 2006.
What has been the biggest change in IT in the social housing sector in this time?
I don't think it's specific to the housing sector, but I think the biggest change has been the consumerization of IT through the use of smartphones and tablets. That ability to have access to the internet and lots of other applications which do a specific task really well has driven up the expectations of the end users that we need to have the same capability and the same systems and devices in the workplace. Looking more specifically in housing, I think the biggest change has been the pivot of the systems to focus on better managing and recording the interactions that they have with their customers across any channel of communication. Many organizations are still trying to get to grips with their digital offer and how they provide that seamless interaction between their customers and their operational services. Many of these challenges are down to the legacy systems that they still have in place, them not being integrated, the value chains being siloed due to data in different systems. And that's really contributing to not having that single version of the truth, which means they haven't got that confidence in offering it up to a digital channel.
Okay, and if we were recording this in 2031 and looking back, what IT changes do you think we could be talking about?
I think customers will interact digitally with the housing organizations for all of the things they need. Voice interaction will be managed by digital humans who will hand off calls to physical people as and when required. Preventative maintenance will become more widespread through the comprehensive deployment of IoT sensors into customers' properties and the assets that are in their properties. And I think all housing organizations will be carbon positive. Their vehicles will be fully electric. Their offices will be generating more of their own power.
And what is the biggest single IT challenge facing the sector in the next 10 years then to deliver some of those changes that you've outlined?
I think many of our organizations have probably started to do this already. However, I envisage more housing organizations will be looking at how they can take back more control over the systems they operate, reducing their reliance on the suppliers of their housing systems. We're already seeing this with some larger housing organizations, developing housing solutions on Dynamics 365, and then extending the use of this into other areas of their business like finance, HR, and assets, so they get this all-encompassing system. I think in the end, the biggest challenge will be making sure everything they do works together and that it's fully digitized, end to end.
Great insights as usual. Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you.